Hello and welcome back to Vib-Ribbon for the PS1. In part 1, we looked at the main disc covering how the gameplay is here and there as well as the main soundtrack to the game, but in part 2 we're going to be looking at the CD function of this, where you are able to use any CD in the world and have a song onto it and it generates its own stage from it, which is really cool. However, due to YouTube, I can't show you band label music. Otherwise I'd be done for like a copyright claim and stuff. So what I've done is I've burnt a whole bunch of video game soundtracks onto a CDRW, put that into the PS3, and we're gonna see how it acts with it, because believe me, it's really interesting what Vib-Ribbon does here and there. There are a grand total of 17 tracks in this, however, it's gonna be a bit long if I show those in bulk, so what I've decided to do is just show an example of the first one, and then get up into highlights here and there, just so you get the idea. The first track that we're going to hear is from a game called Jet Set Radio Future for the Xbox. The song's called Shape to Future, and is composed by Hideki Naganuma. I mainly chose this one just because it's got some sort of techno feel to it, and it gives you some sort of basic point, understanding how Vib-Ribbon reacts to it. Where as you can see, with like all these obstacles appearing, it is actually in time to the music. However, like I said before, it's much better if I just cut all this up into highlights with all the other songs. What I mainly want you to do though is pay attention to the change of obstacles and speed going on, because I'm going to be using different types and variations of music, including genre, tempo and mood, and basically let all the visuals and audio do the talking. So without further ado, let's have a look at all the other tracks on the CD and see what it does. So yeah, hopefully that clears up how they react to things. You can just use any song, just see how it looks, and get some surprises here and there. There is a feature called All Tracks, and that literally just plays through every single track in one sitting, meaning you could get a super high score at the end, but that takes forever and I'm not really going to show that off. That's more to do in your own time. The thing we will be looking at though is speed, which is an additional thing if you get bored of playing through the songs normally. And we're going to start with the bronze level. The example I'm going to use in this though is from the game Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, the song called Discussion Heat Up, because it's got some sort of club music and is fast paced and just a good example for this really. The idea of this is you'll see like this purple triangle. and this little hand that goes towards it. Every time you clear through one of the obstacles, that raises up. And you want to keep at it until you reach the very end of this. I skipped ahead quite a way just because it took a bit of a while trying to get to it, and I just wanted to cut to the point, you know, instead of playing through the whole song from the very beginning. And upon reaching it, you of course get greeted to this. Thanks, Vivi. That was the bronze course, and of course, like, you can do other levels, which are a bit higher here and there, but I'm just going to go for the top one, which is gold, because I think you get the idea of how silver works, right? This also gives time to show off what happens when you get a lot of damage in this game, because upon damaging Vivi herself, I then change into a frog form, which I did talk about in part 1, but I wasn't able to show off, mainly just because those songs that I showed off in part 1 of the disc, I know very well at the back of my hand, but this was kind of trial and error here and there, because I was putting in these CDs for the first time, you know. I just put them in, played them, and then just see, like, how it played out. And the final form we get is Worm. If you take more damage after this a couple of times, that's it, it's game over, and you have to start the whole song again. I don't know why I chose this song of all things, really. I just wanted to do a bit of a challenge here and there. But of course, at the very end, somehow I actually did make it. So gold is really the hardest one, especially when you choose a fast tempo song. Of course, that was speed, and auto, I think it's pretty much self-explanatory with this one. You put in a CD, and it does all the courses for you automatically. So of course, with the first song, I'm not pressing any buttons at all. Vivi is doing it all herself, really. But there isn't really much else to say about auto here and there, so I might as well just move on to the next thing, which is where I want to actually swap the disc over, because even though we have seen stuff going on with the normal video game soundtracks, I might as well show you what happens when you do put in some band labeled music, because I'm allowed to show at least a couple of seconds for this. And, well, here's what it's like for pop tracks.
ChaCha, real smooth. Let's go to work.
Especially for the one Blimmin' DJ Casper ChaCha Slide. Like, this song is nightmare fuel on this game. Like, look at these amount of obstacles that you have to dodge and all these timed reactions and everything. If you want a challenge in Vib-Ribbon, just play Blimmin' ChaCha Slide by DJ Casper. It's ridiculous what you gotta do and things, and it took me ages in order to clear it. And what's worse, choosing to do it on the gold course, of course. Where you may want to just get it up to the purple triangle as per usual, but believe me, it's harder than it looks, because the tempo of the speed is fast enough, and it increases the more you go through the course, especially on the gold one. Again, I don't know why I did this. I guess I just got bored during my recording session, and so I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and beat this on the gold course, because if I can beat it normally, I'm sure I'll be fine with this. And yeah, fortunately I did, so that's rather nice here and there. And of course, that's it for Vib-Ribbon. It's a really, really great and unique rhythm game, in my opinion. One of my favourite rhythm games of all time, actually, mainly just the fact that not only does it have a really good soundtrack and simple gameplay, which is really addictive, but the whole CD function just completely makes this game open up with more possibilities, and it's just great. So if you do want to pick up this game, you can pick up the original PS1 copy if you want. However, it's bloomin' rare these days, so I would recommend PSN more for this type of thing. And just play through the game normally, and if you want, if you've got a whole bunch of CDs in your house, just pop those in, see how they react, and then you should have a good time with this game. So yeah, this has been Vib-Ribbon for the PS1. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and get this game. It's damn good.